Good morning. Good morning. Can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Now you can hear me.
Now I can. How are you?
Okay, I took off the sound now.
I was missing you the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've been busy.
You're allowed.
Unfortunately. No, actually, well, just Friday, I think it was. No, I was here Friday. I was. I don't remember. I forget already.
I wasn't on Wednesday.
Let's see, where was I? Nope, Friday I was here, and Thursday I was here. You weren't here like one day last week, I forgot.
Wednesday
Yeah.
I wasn't here. We were with our 5-year-old granddaughter.
No, okay. I keep on writing a note to Ken telling him I've had enough with Burr.
Had enough
He
of
was
what?
so, the person who keeps on talking while Ken is talking,
Yeah, yeah.
he just getting
He
to the
he
point.
left for a while so that he feels he has permission now.
Oh, right, right. One day I tuned in and he was giving the daf, and I go, oh, that's not good. Now he has a standing.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. It just he reads ahead. I didn't say he's not smart, just that he has to learn not to interrupt and not to. He gets the feeling he's got to, well, for
What's
lack
his
of a
name?
better word, show off.
Yeah, what's his name?
Burr. The last name is Burr.
Burr.
Right.
Okay.
When I used to do the daf in the shul and he would start, they would just tell him to shut up. But I can't do that
Okay.
when I'm on Zoom.
Yeah.
So I told Ken, stop being such a nice guy.
Ken is a nice guy.
Right. He won't, he won't basically say, hey, you keep quiet. No, he won't say that. So just say, we'll get to that later. He's always like about a half a page ahead of everyone. But what can I tell you? 8:30. Where is everyone? Probably not
Oh,
even
it's
Rosh
Dark
Chodesh.
Shadows.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not that long.
Yeah.
They're not traveling anywhere. They're right in the room.
מרדכי בא. Sure.
Okay.
Wonder if he's having trouble connecting.
I'm sorry.
I'm wondering if he's having trouble connecting.
Well, I had trouble this morning when I went on originally. Well, let's see if he'll answer the phone. Right. Rabbi, how are you? Talking. Sorry. Are you having difficulty getting on or what? Right. Okay. I'll tell Steve. No problem. Okay, John. He didn't know. He didn't read it either, obviously. All right. I'll tell him. Thanks. You
Okay.
stay? Yeah. He said he sent an email to both of us about 5 or 6 minutes ago. He's going to start in 5 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't see any email, but let me see. Maybe I should look. Oh, not there. Let's try the messages. Nope. I didn't see any emails come in.
No, I've gotten that. Yes, I got it. I got it 33 minutes ago.
No, that's what he said.
Okay. 8:45, you said.
The ladies like to come in early. Remember that from previous years, you know? I figured, my wife is going. Figured that that's the best thing to do. Except I put too many tzfarim over here. I'll put them in the middle. What are they doing over here with the library? Books going in. Well, that's the problem. Number one, there are books that people tend to bring, you know, when somebody is niftar and they clean out they bring it to the show. So that's nice that we get, so to speak, free books. But on the other hand, it's the kind of books run out of space. it's going to be moved. Okay.
What's doing?
Okay. You got anybody on there?
Good morning.
Hold them closer. Okay. It's almost quarter of.
I got your email. Thank you.
You did get the email. Okay.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
That's yours, right?
Yep.
Okay. And Harvey just called me. He said he was going to reach out to you if you didn't get it. Okay. I'm going to, as we get this settled, I'm going to start the sponsors and then go into the Gemara. Mel's got to get, and
Ruben is on his way.
Ruben's on his way, Mel is on his way.
You could bring dead people.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm just trying to make sure we got enough places. Sid, who else? Who else is here this morning?
Morty,
What?
Morty, Engel.
Yeah, so there
He's
should,
holding his phones.
okay, so there's 4 more guys coming. That should be okay. That's why I figured today. Okay. Okay, I'm starting these sponsors, gentlemen. The year of learning, Suanani Garlic, in memory of Malcolm Perlman and Philip Mann. And Yisrael David ben Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Beryl ben Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Yosef Meir ben Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Henny Rivka Pro Rosna Bas Harav Tzvi Hirsch, in a memory of family murdered in the Holocaust. Harav Tzvi Hirsch ben Shlomo Yaakov, Sarah bat Ephraim, Yisrael David ben Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Ephraim ben Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Adia bat Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Miriam bat Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Pestel bat Harav Tzvi Hirsch, Shalom ben Harav Tzvi Hirsch, grandchildren. In memory of her uncle, founding member of the RS, Marsha Federbush and family. In memory of her husband, Dr. Uriel Paul Federbush, Uriel Pinchas ben Harav Shimon. Sharon and Fred Liska, their family and many friends. In memory of her dear mom, Harriet Friedman, Edelbus Yaakov. Leslie and Gail Kaplan, in memory of their parents, Harry and Marjorie Sedell and Irving and Pearl Kaplan. Friends of Avi Gidler, Mayor Ben Shimon and Martha Gidler, Shana Bat Yeshaya. Oh, Sam. We got, I know. Okay, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren of Toby Paris, Saratova Bat Yisrael Dov in her memory. Okay, that means we're going to need 2 more places. Okay. Friends of Malka Levy, Malka Bat Yosef. Friends of Joe Wolf, Yosef Ben Chaim. That's no, that one is mine.
I left my kid before.
Okay, I don't see it. Okay.
Maybe put it away.
Ali
Put it
Geffels,
in my mouth, my thing.
in Rachumatza Bat Asher.
No.
Okay, month of learning. Okay, month of learning sponsored by David and Mindel Cheslow in memory of his mother, Bela Bas Meir, Marsha Federbush in memory of her husband, Uriel Pinchas ben Harav Shimon, Gary and Marsha Schrager in memory of his father, David ben Yosef, and his mother, Freda Bas Hendel. Dov Bloodlander in memory of his parents, Tzvi ben Yaakov Yitzchak and Bela Drasha Bas Harav Dov Bear, and his in-laws, Yudah Tzvi ben David Nachum and Alta Chaya Bas Avram Yosef. We have a week of learning by Vicky Rubinovich Fish and Larry Fish in memory of her mother, Rita Bat Tzvi, and her father, Chaim Zusia ben Shlomo ben Sion, by Michael and Judy Poretsky, in memory of his father, Gershon ben Chaim Tzvi. We also have today being the 8th, the day of learning plus Shalashudas Fund by Fred and Susan Koss, in memory of his mother Irene Razel Batzvi.
That's
No,
his.
that's mine, Mordechai.
That's mine. I just brought it.
Okay. Okay, and that when Hashem was having Aliyah, Frank Rafia, Velti Yashir, Hashem Matzliah, and Lachol B'nai Israel, a good Gaben Shtia. Okay.
Are you sure maybe you can-
No, like he came in right after me. I put mine here.
Okay.
And yours is still here.
Put it here.
I
No,
understand.
it's not yours. I'm looking for a small one. I don't know.
Okay. All right. All right. I don't see it.
Do you have a name in it?
Yes. It's not here.
No,
Are you sure you brought it, Sam?
he did. He came in right after I saw.
You saw him.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I don't know.
Don't bring the Irish
No,
either.
you're not-
Don't bring the
you're
Irish.
not-
That's
you're
for
not
sure.
the Irish.
Okay,
Sure.
yes, okay, so take, get a chair and we'll start. Okay,
It'll turn up as soon as we finish sucker.
all right.
You know, Sam, just in case, why don't you look in the basement, just maybe somebody brought it in there.
Somebody can get the.
I know, I saw
Somebody
it.
put it in there. Yeah. You know, what was it, if you eliminate all the other possibilities,
Right.
whatever is left, no matter how wide.
Aleph,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Lamed Aleph Amud Beis, bottom, okay, all right, of the daf, right? David left us off there yesterday. Okay, next to the last line, Niktam Rosho. Okay, the question is if the tip is severed, right? That's where the Gemara starts. Okay, we're going to go into that. But before I go into the Gemara, I was just told this morning that as of tomorrow, the power and light people are coming and they will be shutting off the power in the building as of 9 o'clock. Okay, since tomorrow's Rosh Chodesh again.
Will
It's
be.
not gonna be much
Okay.
earlier.
So the issue is, what are we going to do for the Shiva?
Sit
Okay.
outside.
So we have two options. One option is to do it outside in the sukkah. Okay. One option is to do it online on Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
All right. So I'm one of the consensus of the group. We have the Zoom guys on already. We can daven tomorrow morning at 7:30, and the 7:30 minyan is fine. Because- But the question is, the issue is, I don't know what they're gonna do for the 8:30 minyan, because they're not gonna have power after 9 o'clock. Okay, but right now I want to just deal with the issue for the daf. Okay,
We
so,
are talking gonna be here.
right, that's the point. If we're gonna be here for davening,
Right.
I don't have a problem if we do it outside in the sun. I'll just need to let Juice know to have at least chairs or tables or something. Okay, okay, all right, so that is our decision.
Or upstairs. You can learn
Well, it
upstairs.
probably won't be a Zoom, man.
I don't know what they're gonna do for
You
the,
probably won't be able to connect on Zoom.
all right? But figure that again, it will be. All right, what's that? Yeah. Like we got the water.
It has Rhoda and William Kellman.
Okay, oh, that was a long time ago. Right, right. But, okay. All right, so we're starting now, the Gemara having made that decision. Good. Okay, so the Gemara starts, Lamed Aleph Amud Beis, next to the last line. Niktam Rosho, if the tip of the, lulav is severed. Amar Rav Huna, says Rav Huna, Lo Shanu Ela Niktam. They only taught when it was a question of severed. Okay? Aval Misdak, but if it was split, kasher. V'nisdak kasher, asks the Gemara. We say if it's split, okay, it's valid. Vahatanya, aren't we taught elsewhere in a bright the following? Okay, and now we go on to today's daf. Lamed Bet. Lamed Aleph. We got a lot of explanation, guys. Kavutz. Okay, if it is thorny, in other words, barbed. Saduk. Okay, if it's split. Akum domeh lemagal. If it's curved. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Are you all right?
If it's curved in the shape, the lulav is invalid. Okay. Charut. If it's like hardwood, okay. Pasul. It's invalid. Domeh lecherut. But if it seems to be somewhat similar to being okay, to being hardened, kash. Okay, well, is that yavesh? Okay,
That you want to classify as dry.
that I might classify as dry.
But based on that, because it'd be dry and green, but once the green turns to white,
Okay,
okay.
okay. Amar.
Stages of development.
Okay,
As it gets
right.
older,
I was
it's
okay.
fine.
Tomorrow we'll bring in. Okay, since we'll handle it a little different.
Okay, fine.
Kasha. Okay, Amar says Rav Papa. David kehimnak. Okay, if it is the growth of the lulav is such that it appears to have two spines forked, that's the explanation. Okay,
The tiyum is for.
okay, all right. To akum domeh lemagal. So we come back now. What happens again if it's bent like a sickle? Okay. Amar Rava, says Rava, lo amran ela lefanav. This means that the very tip from the shidra as it goes up and it curves in, away from the shidra, let's say, as if this is the lulav and it's facing this way.
Like it's
Okay.
an old man bent
Okay,
over.
well, all right, no compliments here. Okay. Aval la'acharav, but if it's bent backwards, okay, briate hu. That is its natural form, and that would seem to be accepted. Amar Rav Nachman, says Rav Nachman, Litzdadin kilfanav dami. According to Rav Nachman, if it's bent more to the side, it's more like it's when it's in front, and therefore it would be not valid, right? Va'amrela, and others say, kila acharav dami, that if it's bent to the side, it's more like it's towards the back, right? Furthermore, okay, new statement, Va'amar Rava, and Rava says as follows, Ha'luva desalik bechad hutza, okay? What about a situation, he says, with this luva, okay, that we say that it has a row of leaves on one side,
But not the other.
okay? In other words, you've got the shidra, and the leaves seem to be only, okay, one-sided.
It's a mutant.
Okay, well, we'll get to it. Hold on. Ba'al mumhu pasul. We could say that is a misformed. It's a non-appropriate. Okay, you want to call it a mutant. Okay, that might be one explanation. Okay, so okay, and therefore, okay, next statement. Okay, if these were saying, he suggested that if the leaves are sort of torn, okay, all right, then what happens? maybe it could be tied to the shidra. And if that's the case, it's more like a broom, right? And in that case, then it's not valid, right? Attached to the shidra, but they're sort of separated, okay? Right, what happens? The iprud ifrude. Then they're separated, the leaves are still there, they're spread apart. That would seem to be acceptable. Okay, by Rav Papa. And so Rav Papa asks as follows. Now we get specifically to the, I'll call it the very tip of the lulav, right? Nechleka hatiomet mahu. Okay, what happens if the that tiomet, that very let's call it again. One wants to call it the twin leaf. One wants to. That's one explanation. The very tip there. Okay, if it's divided, Tashma. Listen to the following brightness, says the Gemara. Da Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. He says in the name of Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, Nitla hatiomet pasul. That we're saying in this case that if this tiomet, the twin leaf, okay, is removed, then it is pasul. My love, is it not a situation? Who had Kaserle, because then it's totally lacking, right? Ikeda Amre. They tip of okay, and therefore it does not satisfy what? Hadar, right? Okay, all right. So let's go on now. Another lashon on the same discussion. Ikeda Amre, and there are those who say it this way. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, Nechleka hatiomet, if the twin leaf, let's say, is split, right? Ne'esa kami shenit la hatiomet upasul. It's as if it was made in a situation that the tiomet, the twin leaf, was removed, and therefore it is possible. Okay. What happens next? Okay. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, says Rabbi Yehuda Tanya. It has the following braita. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Tarfon. And as we go into this particular piece, I'm going to tell you, I at least found it difficult. All right? Rabbi Tarfon is going to give a statement, and then there are going to be 3 attempts to explain Rabbi Tarfon. Okay? The Koran had a diagram, and I was displeased that Art Scroll did not have a diagram as well on this. Maybe in the larger editions they did, and not in the smaller editions. But I was
Nope.
But
No.
this is an early edition.
right. But I was so we'll do the best we can with this. Okay. All right. Rabbi Tarfon cites the following. Okay, in a braita. Rabbi Yehuda Omer B'Shum Rabbi Tarfon. Kapot Tmarim. That's from our pasuk. Okay.
Right.
Now, 2 things I want to point out. Kapot with the vav seems to imply that it's plural. Okay. Keep that thought in mind. Secondly, kapot, we also understand kapot. What does the kapot usually mean?
A bunch of
Bound,
grapes.
bundle.
A cluster of
Cluster,
grapes.
group.
Kaf, like a
Okay.
hand.
So let's see what happens. Kapot, im haya parud, yechaf tenu. That if they're spread, if they're separated, bundle them, bring them together. Okay, just like Michael's example, my hand, I bring it together as a, okay, that way. I don't know if you guys could see that on the Zoom there. Amale Ravina, so Ravina is going to try to explain the Rav Ashi. Mimai, the high kapot marim, the lulvahu, I bring my own. David may have one here. If you see, I don't know.
What is the one?
The poll for the Zoom. Okay. Okay. So what happens here? So we're saying the high kapot marim, this phrase that we find in the Chumash, deluvahu. How do we know for sure that this applies to a lulav, to a palm, okay, branch? Ema charuta. I might say maybe it applies to a thickened, a hardened branch. So the Gemara answers that ba'ina kapot veleka. We require that it says that it be bound, and that's not the case if it's a hardened branch. Okay. Second, ve'ema ufta. And I would say maybe it's a situation, okay? Maybe it's a situation of the ufta, that it's ufta would be
Chestnut.
okay, a different kind of tree for the moment. Okay, ufta kapot miklau the ika parud. Okay, there ufta was more like a log.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and we say no, but we say that doesn't work because we say again it has to be bound. Okay, and in that case it would still be separated.
No, it's the trunk of the tree.
The trunk
so
of the tree,
binding doesn't change anything.
the bottom part of the tree, right? V'hai kapot v'omed le'olam. Okay, and that because it's the trunk, it's as if it's already bound tight together, and therefore it's always in that situation, right? Okay, now again, ve'ema kufra, and I would say maybe it's palm shoots that come out of it, right? Amar Abaye. So Abaye suggests that can't be the case. Why? We have a pasuk that says that the ways of the Torah are pleasant and nice. And the kufra, the palm shoots, when they initially come out, they're thorny, right? They got barbs in it, okay? So that's the problem there, okay? So what happens? Just catching my place again. All right, Amar le Rabba, says Rabba, Tosafa'a. Now, I want to just real quick. Art Scroll and Koren clearly have a problem, I feel, with this phrase, Tosfa. According to Art Scroll, they translated Rava Tosfa'a, as if that's his name. According to Koren, Rava is the sage's name, and Tosfa'a is a description of the fact that he's an expert in the Tosefta. Okay, so I just want us to understand that. And he says to Ravina, Ve'ema tarte cafe de tamre. Okay, maybe I would say because it's phrased with a vav, it's plural. Therefore, maybe you need two bundles. Okay, two clusters. Okay, the tamre. Kafat kati, but it's written as if it's singular without the vav, but we understand it to mean plural. Okay,
But maybe it's singular.
right? Va'ema chada, and I would say therefore that tells me it's one. I don't need two lulavim.
Okay. A cluster of grapes on the
right.
lulav.
So we'll see now.
Dates, not grapes.
Lahahu kaf karile, and this is what they call the individual bundle, cluster, things like that, a single one. Okay? Now, we get to a new piece from our Mishnah. Tsine har habarzel kshem. Okay? We said that was the palms from the Iron Mountain would be valid. Okay? And the question we had, remember in our own learning was, is that a particular location? Okay? So let's go on now. Amar Abaye, says Abaye, Lo shanu ela she rosho shel zeh magia letzad ikaro shel zeh. We're talking about the structure of the lulav such that leaves from one sort of overlap onto
The
the
one above.
next. Okay. All right. So if that's the case, Magil etzadi karo shel zeh. All right. I'm sorry. Sharosho shel zeh magil etzadi karo shel zeh. That the leaves from one overlap onto the, if you want to say, the base
He's
of
talking
the
about
one above it.
he's talking about a species of palm
Right?
which has many fewer leaves than
We'll get
we're
to that in a
used to.
second. Right. Okay. We're going to see there's a problem with that issue also. Aval en rosho shel zeh magia litzad ikaro shel zeh. But if, let's say, the leaf doesn't reach up over and cover the base of what would be above it, okay, pasul. It's then not valid. Tanya nami hachi. I'm on 32A3. Har habarzel psula. This brighter tells us that the palm branches from Iron Mountain are invalid. What are we going to have as our problem? Right? Somebody? Contradiction.
Right.
Exactly. The Mishnah says it's okay. The bright is now saying it's not. Okay. Now that we understand that, we're ready to go on. V'ha'anant not shela. But we learned in our Mishnah, right? That's a valid way of binding shmamina. Okay, and that's how we learn it. Let's go over now. That's why I said Lamed Bet is wrong. Hamad Aleph, Ve'ika derame le mirma, and there are those who phrase this Okay, everybody there, all right? I hate to think that they were going to get on the same.
We're here. We're here.
Okay, all right. Kan shel zeh magia letzadi karo shel zeh. Kan she'ein roshel shel zeh magia letzadi karo shel zeh. So that was the same explanation. Again, whether the leaves reached up over the base or not of the
Next
above.
leaf.
Next week. All right. Now, Amar Rabbi Miriam, Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi.
So that's Marvin.
Marvin, okay. All right. Va'amreila. All right. Va'amreila. And others say, Tani Rabba Bar Mary, Mishum Rabban Yochanan ben Zak. Okay. Now, Shtei Timrot, Yesh Bagai ben Hinam. He says there are two, I'm going to say, large palm trees. Okay, notice they don't call them dikalim, they call them tmarim. All right, tmarot. Okay, so those are clearly date palm trees, right? Bagay Ben Hinam, in the valley of Ben Hinam. Remember that was the valley just below Yerushalayim. Okay, if we think about it, just as an aside.
Unbelievable. Pack a loss.
Remember that is.
Yeah.
Okay, now in Dante's Inferno, that actually is the basis of which he chose that description, as we're going to see momentarily. I don't think Dante learned this particular Gemara, okay, but we'll see why. All right, Yesh Bagay Ben Hinam, Va'ole Ashan Mi Beinehem, and there's smoke that comes from that between those two. Zehu sheshaninu sinei har habarzel kshelo. Okay, that here where they teach that the palms of Iron Mountain are valid. V'zohi pitcha shel gehinam, and that is the entrance to Gehenna.
So of course the Mishfarshim go nuts over why is it called a mountain if it's a valley.
Exactly. We won't go into that, but the point is it's true that that's what Dante's Inferno used as the basis for his whole description. Okay, a new piece from as we continue. Lulav sheyesh bo shlosha tfachim. Okay, now again, the Gemara is going to get complicated once more. How much is 3 tfachim? We say 3 handbreadths. Okay, now, but the rest of the Mishnah said it had to be enough to be able to shake. Now, my question as we're going to go into the Gemara is as follows. When we say 3 handbreadths, let's say it's about this. Are we talking only the shidra and the leaves are above that? Or are we talking including the leaves? Okay, that one, I've never seen a lulav that size. Okay?
Well, probably at the beginning of its growth.
Well,
It's got to be a baby.
we'll see. Now, I raise this question because as we get into the Gemara, that's what we're going to see, I believe, is part of the issue. Okay, the lulav sheyesh bo shloshat tfachim. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. This is Rav Yehuda in the name of Shmuel. Shiur hadas va'arava shlosha. So according to, and I'm going to emphasize Shmuel here's name, okay, the height of the myrtle and the willow should be 3 tfachim. Beyond that, the lulav arba'a should be at least 1, okay, so that should be 4 tfachim. That's what Shmuel seems to be saying here. Kadesh, okay, Kadesh yeheh lulav yotzei min hadas tefach, so that the lulav extends, right, okay, beyond the myrtle, at least 1 tefach. Now, the rest is in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Shidro shelulav tzrich sheyetzei min hahadas tefach. That the shidra, okay, so to speak, the backbone of the lulav, that's what has to be 4, and therefore that has to extend 1 tefach above the myrtle. All right. So we see here, okay, this issue is going to come to the fore. It's not. We have a Mishnah where we learned lulav sheyesh bo shlosha tfachim kedei lena'anea bo kasher, that a lulav that has 3 tfachim and it's enough to shake it is valid. Okay, so the Gemara now says ema, as if it's going to say perhaps we need to amend the Mishnah. Okay, v'kedai lena'anea bo kasher, and it's, let's say, worthy of being shaken, then it's valid. So if that's the case, if we're already amending the Mishnah, that tells me we've got an issue here. Umar kideitle, Umar kideitle. And I'm going to translate that as follows. As one master, Shmuel, only says 1 additional handbreadth is necessary, and that needs to include the leaves. Okay, the other, Umar Kideitle, is that, and the other master, who is Rabbi Yochanan, he says the additional handbreadth length of spine, not including the leaves. Okay, all right. Now that we've got through that, it only took me, Tashma. Okay, and listen to the following bright. Shiur hadas va'arava shlosha. This Braita says that the length, the measurement of the myrtle and the lulav arba four. My love.
The leaves.
Is that what we're saying? This excludes the leaves.
Word.
The leaves of the lulav.
Yeah.
Yes. In other words, think of it.
It's a
I was
font.
almost going to bring my old lulav in. I'll do it
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but it's dry.
So what? Some of us are dry. Okay. I'm not making it. You've got the shidra. You've got a green, the backbone.
Okay, what sides are called the.
Right. Those are the
Sides are
leaves.
called the leaves.
Okay. Okay. Gufa. Let's come back to that, says the Gemara. Shi'ur hadas va'arava shlosha v'lulav arba'a. We said that the measurement of the willow and the myrtle are 3, and the lulav, the palm, is 4. Rabbi Tarfon Omer. So what? And Rabbi Tarfon says, what? Ma bat is of 5 handbreadths.
Which is the Sinaitic.
Which is the. I'll phrase it a little differently. Michael's right, but I'm going to phrase it a little. We know as a fact, okay, that was the biblical. One was 6 tefachim. Okay, so now what we're saying is maybe Rabbi Tarfon is suggesting an amma measure that consists of the 5, the biblical style. Okay, Rava, on Rabbi Tarfon's statement. Sharale Mare, the Rabbi Tarfon, that the master, in other words, Hashem, should forgive Rabbi Tarfon for making such a statement. By the way, the point being the fact that, right? So what happens? Hashta, okay, avot shlosha, okay, lo mishkachinin, okay, here, right, we say as follows, okay, thrown off. Thank you. Hashta here, avot shlosha. If I'm dealing with willows,
Hadassim.
right?
Hadassim.
Hadassim. All right. I'm dealing with hadassim that I need to have them 3. Bas chamisha mebai. You think I'm going to be able to? Is it really necessary that I would have to be able to find those that are 5? Okay. When Rav Dimi comes, what is he? He explains it differently. Amma bat shishat tfachim. No, what Rabbi Tarfon really meant was to use the rabbinic measure of an amma, which was 6 tfachim, right? Asa ota bat chamisha. But divide the normal 6 tfachim only into 5 units. That's what we're going to do. Say mehen shlosha lahadas, and derive from this that 3 of them should be the height of the hadas, of the myrtle. V'hashar lulav, the lulav, and the rest are for the lulav. Kama havulaho, so how much would it be? Tlata utlata chumshe, 3 3/5. Kasha the Shmuel ad the Shmuel. If that's the case, we have a problem of Shmuel versus Shmuel, because before Shmuel said it had to be 3. Here,
Now it's more.
okay, here will be something different. Okay. Hacha Amar Rav Yehuda. Now here Rav Yehuda is telling us. Amar Shmuel. Again in the name of Shmuel. Shi'ur Hadas Va'arava Shlosha. That the measure of the myrtle and the willow is 3. Vahatam Amar Rav Huna Amar Shmuel. And there, in that case, Rav Huna said in the name of Shmuel, Halacha Rabbi Tarfon, that the law is like Rabbi Tarfon. Okay? Namely, that it would seem that if Rabbi Tarfon is correct, all right, it should be 3 and 3/5, which is more. So that means it's chumrah. He's being more strict. So the Gemara answers to us, lo dak, that maybe Shmuel was only approximating and he wasn't precise. Amar da amrinan lo dak, the chumrah. Is it possible that we say that somebody is not precise when he's dealing with stringency? Lakula, an approximation and not be precise. So what happens? Ki ata Ravin Amar. When Ravin comes, he now tells us another thing. Ama bat chamishat tfachim. No, he says when Rabbi Tarfon was talking about Ama, he was talking again about the biblical Ama. Okay, that it was 5 tfachim. That's what it was. Asa ota shisha. And you make that 5 tfachim Ama divided into 6 segments. That's what we do. Say mehen shlosha lahadas. And derive from this that 3 have to be for the hadas.
Which is only 2.5.
Right, which we'll get to in a second, right? V'hashar lulav, and the remainder will be for the lulav. Kama have laho. What then is it going to be? Trey upalga, 2.5. So the Gemara then tells us, sof, kasha de Shmuel ashim de Shmuel. Here too, then, we're going to get to a problem with Shmuel. All right? Because Shmuel said it was 3, and now we say it's only according to Rabbi it's only 2.5. Lodak, says the Gemara. Shmuel wasn't, and here we said on the one hand for astringency, he wasn't precise. The Amar Rav Huna Amar Shmuel, because Rav Huna said in the name of Shmuel, Halacha Rabbi Tarfon, that the law is like that of Rabbi Tarfon. So in essence, if the law is like Rabbi Tarfon, what does it mean? It does mean that Shmuel was using it for chumrah, that instead of saying 2.5, that's why he made it 3. And that's how we understand that even though Shmuel was not precise, he was trying to round it off. And that's why we can say that our text says it's 3. All right.
Now if you can.
All right. We now go on. I'm going to try to.
You don't have to buy the double
Okay.
olives.
Now,
Just an
Matnitin,
olive.
our new Mishnah. Okay. Having talked about Lulav, we're now going to jump further onto Hadas. Right? Hadas Hagazul Vahayavesh Pasul. If I have a myrtle that is stolen, okay, or dry, it is invalid. Shel Asherah v'shel Ir Hanidacha. Okay, if it comes from a tree that was worshipped for idol worship, or part of a wood that was associated with a city by idol worship, pasul, it's invalid. Niktam rosho, if the top of the myrtle is severed, right? Nifratsu alav, if the leaves are missing, okay, are removed. or shehiyu anavav rubot me'alav, or if berries on the myrtle are more than the leaves on. Ve'im
If you
Well,
make
well, well,
it
well, wait.
less.
You make it
But,
less.
but, I'm saying, ve'ein mema'atin biyom tov.
But
Can't do it
please
again.
don't do
Okay,
it. on
but you cannot reduce them. In
Yom-
other words,
you
remove
can't
them
take
on
off
Yom
the
Tov.
meat.
I could have
Can't
hadassim
pick the
with berries. Did you ever see them?
We'll,
I
That's
saw them in
how
Eretz
they
Yisrael.
naturally
In
grow.
Eretz Yisrael, I saw.
That's how
when
they
you get
naturally.
them, they're already
You're
removed.
taking them up.
Right. Okay. Now our
Unless you
Gemara.
cave through the nose.
All right. Tanu Rabbanan, a new bright. Remember, we always keep saying the psukim in the Torah do not spell out the details. We saw that with Sukkah. Now we see that with each aspect of the Arba meaning. So we're getting now our pasuk first. Okay, Tanu Rabbanan, says the Braita. Anaf eitz avot. That's what our pasuk tells us, right? And I'm going to. I'm at the Gemara. I'm on 32b3. Okay.
Just before YD.
Okay. All right.
Right
At the
here.
Gemara. Okay. I'm going to translate it as follows. Ba Fav chofim et etzo. And now I'm going to translate that part as that the leaves cover or obscure the tree
Completely
branch.
cover the branch.
Okay. Now that covers both Art Scroll and Koren's explanation. Okay.
Rashi.
All right. Okay. Ve'ezehu. Okay. What do we mean by that? Have omer zehadas. This designates for me that this is the myrtle. Now, the Gemara is gonna challenge Ve'ema zeta. Maybe olive branch. No, says the Gemara. Need that it has to be densely leaved. Now you see why I use that translation, and that's not the case. Says the Gemara. Ve'ema dulva. Maybe it's a branch of a chestnut tree. So, translate here, doof. Okay. Koren suggests that it is an oriental plane tree. Okay.
It looks like a of each leaf. There's
It's
a
different.
bar.
Closer.
No.
No. This is another kind of leaf,
But it
branch that's being suggested, and we're going to reject
Reject
it
it.
instead of hadam.
Right.
Right.
Because it covers the stem. It meets the
It
requirement.
recovers the branch.
But
right?
if you run your hand along
You're going to,
it,
right, we're going to see in a second. Amar Abaye, but Abaye then cites his favorite pasuk, Dracheh Darchei Noam, okay? Again, the ways of the Torah are nice, right? 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 Veleka, and that's not the case because
it'll
there
stab
are
you.
barbs on them.
But it says this is the tree that Moshe used that he threw in the water.
Yeah,
We'll
right,
get to that.
Phil.
That's only one
One
explanation.
explanation. Yeah, but that's
Okay.
all wet.
Right? Rava Amar Mehacha. Rava gives a different reason why the hirduf is not acceptable. Okay, from here, from this pasuk, ha'amet v'hashalom ahavo, that peace and tranquility and truth should be loved. In other words, that's not the
And
case,
it stabs you. It's
right?
not
That's truthful.
peaceful.
Tanu Rabbanu. Now, rabbis give the following bright. Kalua, if it's got to be plaited, kemin kliya, like a braid. V'domeh l'shalshelet, and it's got to look almost like a chain. Zehu hadas, that is the myrtle, right? Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, okay, he says also. Our pasuk said, "Anaf eitz avot," right? That's where we started the beginning of the Gemara, the first bright. Okay, boughs of densely, right? Leave the trees, right? Okay, eitz sheta'am eitzo upiryosh. We say that it is got to be a branch where the taste of the
It's
fruit
actually the
and the
smell
okay,
in this case.
all right, and the stalk, the wood
Similar
is
smell.
similar. Have omer zehadas. This tells me also that it's the myrtle. Now what happens? Tana. I'm going to teach the following regarding the myrtle branch. Eitz avot kasher, where it is a branch that is plated, okay? Now, avot, if it's echidami, how is that the case? Avot, it said, right? Amar Rav Yehuda, says Rav Yehuda, vahu dekaima tzlata tzlata. Okay, so what happens, he says, right? Hu dekaima tzlata tzlata, tarfe bekina. Okay, you've got three leaves growing out of the same base. Out of the same base.
That's the only.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Now that other the hinuf does too.
All right, Bakina. Rav Kahana Amma. Rav Kahana is going to disagree with Rav, right? Well, he's going to give a different answer. What does he say? V'chad. Even if you have two leaves coming out of the same base, and another one
is slightly
higher or low. Okay. What Berei the Rab was a Talmud Bees practice, and so there he followed after the practice of 2 and 1. O'il v'nafik mipume the Rav Kahana, since that's what came out of the mouth of Rav Kahana. Now, Amar le Mar bar Amemar le Rav Ashi, and Rav the son of Mar the son of Amemar says to Rav Ashi, Abba. In other words, my father, namely Amemar, were used to, what did he say? Lahahu, to that kind of a myrtle branch.
2 and 1.
Right? The 2 and 1. Hadas shoteh kareli. He used to call it a wild, foolish whatever, hadas. Tanu Rabbanu, a new bright.
So he was disagreeing with Rav Kahana in
exactly.
an insulting
now,
way.
Nashru rov alav. If we say that the majority of the leaves, v'nishtayru bo mi'ut, and only there remained a few, kasher, we say it's valid. Ubilvad tehei avuto kayemet. But so long as it's, I'm going to say, plated status,
it still covers the branch.
It still covers the branch. All right? Right? Ha gufa kasha.
That's
But that
problematic.
statement itself is problematic. Why? Amar, because you say Nashru rova vahadar tani, and afterwards you teach ubilvad shetehe avuto kayemet. But that's so long as the leaves are plated and cover the piece of the wood, right? Kevan de natre laho tre avot hechi mishkachet la. But once you say right that since leaves fall off, how can you say that that's going to come? Very briefly, Mishkachet la ba'as, particular variety of myrtle, and Rashi here gives two different explanations. They use one explanation. According to Koren, they use the other explanation. So we can either translate it as a kind of myrtle that's on the boundary of the country, Egyptian myrtle. Okay, the combination because has 7 leaves growing up. So 3, okay, or whatever, 4 fall out because if 4 fall out, we'll stop.
Ah, I think I've lost him entirely.